Mr. Abel, let's get to some other things that concerns Nigeria, especially this year, because it's a year that defines the election, or it's a year that we build into the 2027 election. AI is big. It's beyond just people using ChatGPT as Google. The question then becomes, what really are we going to see AI do increasingly as we head towards elections? In fact, what really is the world going to start experiencing more in this year and beyond? And then you narrow it down to Nigeria's elections, to Nigeria's economy, and to the things and possibilities that we really think that AI can really achieve in this year and beyond.
That's a great question. I think 2026 is great. So one of the things we're seeing right now is the geopolitics that's happening around, not just from America to the Middle East and also to Africa as well, right? And if you think about the geopolitics, fundamentally underpin that are infrastructures. So it could be, military hardwares and all that. And most of them are propelled and used by artificial intelligence, right? So just to make this point quite quickly, in the very elementary level, AI will affect every software and every hardware. Okay, I'll repeat again. AI will affect every software and every hardware. And so once you understand that, then you understand that AI has a role to play, just like we've got internet, just like we've got other technology as well. So I talked about the GPT, the general purpose technology. And the quite interesting thing about artificial intelligence at the moment is this is the current general purpose technology that is going to shape the 21st century. Everything that we do. So if you bring it down to Nigeria, right? So we're going to have elections next year. But before we have elections next year, AI is going to shape what you see on your screen, how you interact with it. And that thing that you see on your screen will change your behavior and your thinking. Okay. And that's the reason why we can have things like fake news. People can create fake news easily right now, right? People can say something is happening and that's not true. And you need to have another AI to counteract that to say that's not true, right? So this is an information space, and fundamentally, AI is shaping information technology, but also the information warfare that we're having at the moment. And underpinning that is cybersecurity as well. So people can have the ability to hack into systems. So if you want to build system that's quite durable, that will be preserved. So let's use INEC, for example. INEC needs to build system that people cannot hack into those systems using artificial intelligence as well, right? And at the moment, finally, I just want to make a point. That's what we call agentic AI. So these are agents that you can send messages to go and do stuff for you. And people will be deploying agents, agentic AI, into different facets as well. And I can see the pickle that we create for Nigeria, not just for Nigeria, for the elections and beyond as well. So, but we need to be ready. We need to be ready to counteract these things. We need to be ready to build technology and solutions, but also we need to be ready because these are the things that people will be using going forward in the 21st century. And that's the reason why artificial intelligence is not just a buzzword, it's something that will affect every facet of our lives.
All right. We're building regulations around the digital economy. I'm sure you're very conversant with that regulation and everything that is in play. How soon do you want to see this like rolled out, and what are you hoping that is really sacrosanct and right really embedded in that raw the guiding principles upon which we're going to be running the economy? What are the things you really want to see like that will play out from this?
I think for me, safeguard is really important. Transparency is really important. Inclusion is really important, right? We live in a diverse country as Nigeria, multiple languages, multiple ethnicities as well, right? The North and the South, the way people behave differently as well. So these things need to be tested. And I think for me, it's really important for that to be deployed so that these things can be tested as well. So it's one thing to have rules, right? But for you to test if the rule work is that you have the players that will conform to those rules. Okay. So fundamentally, if those things are not deployed, then you don't know if they're working or not. And then you cannot make the solutions, or you cannot make the things that can change as well. So right now we know that we've already from the 1st of January, we have the new tax law. Okay. And now the test is what we're going to see by the end of the year when people begin to file in their tax assessment at the end of the year. That's where the rubber will be tested. Okay. And you can see how the tax law has behaved. So I think it's really important. The same thing needs to happen in the technology space, in the digital economy space as well. So it's not just about talking and keeping things in shape, it's about testing it in the real world economy, and which is in Nigeria. And that's something that we need to do quite quickly as well.
I like how you put it that the real world economy is in Nigeria because indeed we're going to be having a lot of young people. We're going to have a very youthful population, and they're going to be interacting a lot with artificial intelligence. Let's bring it home a bit now as we try to close. We're looking at national strategies as we've started off, and we're looking at sovereign models, public sectors, GPTs, and AI-enabled governments. What should Nigeria be doing now to really avoid, that strategic irrelevance?
I think what Nigeria should be doing right now is to use our talent and the even the limited infrastructure that we have to begin to solve our problems. I'm going to repeat that again. Use our talent that we have with the limited infrastructure that we have to solve our problems. Nigeria have a myriad of problems, okay? Social, economic, political, whatever that dimension of those problems. And I think we need to be solving them. One of the gap is that we're not using what we have to solve our problem. What we're doing is that we're looking elsewhere to get solutions to come and solve our problems. And that's not good enough. So if I were in the position, I would say the president needs to set up a committee that will do an assessment across the general purpose technology, look at that committee, make recommendation, and go and apply those recommendations. And once you apply it, then you test it if it's working or not. And I think that's really, really important. So, for example, we're talking about sustainability. The president is in Abu Dhabi at the moment, engaging in that sector as well. The world is moving. We cannot stop. But Nigeria has every capacity to leapfrog by using our talent to solve our problems. And I think that's something that's really fundamental.
All right, in 1 minute before I let you go, just tell us, how do you see Nigeria in the next 10 years when it comes to AI? Do you see us as producers, of the AI systems, intellectual property, and digital value? Or do you think we're still going to be just consumers in a world that's dominated by foreign AI powers?
I see potential to be producers, but where we are right now, we're consumers. But I see potentials to be producers. And for us to live from consumer to producers, we've got to do the same thing, the things I've just talked about. And those are the things that will move us from consumers to producers. And I think not just producers, we can be creators as well. Right. And in creators, that's where we begin to look at the intellectual properties as well. And I think that's something that Nigeria has, and we need to do very well as well.